And I've really been working with the Rethink program for at least 3 years, maybe a few more before that. Partnering with those folks have allowed us to bring in some very unique and special fruits and vegetables to the kids in Oshkosh. And the video kind of alluded to that whole thing. Here.
Just forever.
Okay, good. There it is. This program, which the video touched on a little bit, is called the Fun Food of the Month program. So we've actually partnered, worked together, and made these flyers that go out to schools. We work with Pick and Save and Festival Foods in Oshkosh to come up with a coupon, and then somebody in the Rethink group did some fabulous graphics here. And they print the flyers. We're able to send this home to all the children in the elementary schools so the families can see this. Then on the third Thursday of every month, we have a new fun food or vegetable to offer to our children. So we're doing this because we kind of thought that children today, first of all, in order to get them to eat these fruits and vegetables, they need to have some exposure to it. And we weren't seeing a whole lot of that. They don't often know what they are. And we also found that when we first started doing this with our first vegetable, which was jicama, a lot of the little kids would go, I don't like that. I'm not going to have that. Well, have you ever had it before? And they go, well, no. Well, how do you know if you like it? And we've allowed our children not to taste test anymore. So that's what we started with. We didn't realize the outcomes would be, but we've had jicama, we've had fennel. But interestingly, after the first couple of times we did this, we actually had children going, what's next? When's that next one coming? What is it? So we ended up developing this next poster, so we put that in all of our schools to tell our kids, this is what's coming next. So they were very excited about it. We did bok choy yesterday, bok choy of all things, and we actually got very positive reports that children actually liked it. So wonderful opportunity for these kids to try something a lot of them have never had. It's a good thing because 88% of our children are not getting the recommended amounts of fruit, and 92% don't get the recommended amounts of vegetables. My goodness, how are we ever going to get kids to eat healthier if they don't eat these things? So our high school students do a little bit better, usually because I manage to coax them. They're a little bit more close. But so that's really what we need to do to get kids.
That statistic, is that your own statistic from your school?
No,
or is that a national thing, or?
That is something. I have it in my folder back there,
Okay.
but that's not mine.
Okay.
But I do observe some of that when we had to change some of our rules for the school lunch program in the fall. The government now requires children to take a fruit or a vegetable with their lunch. So we were concerned that some of that was all going in the garbage, and we did some actual food waste tests on whole bananas and whole apples. And we did find out that the children, about 97% of our kids anyhow, were choosing those things, which was good. And about 88% of that 97% were actually consumed. So I thought that was good. But it is fruit. And we really have this whole world of vegetables we need to open up to these children. So we need to work on that. We also had interest from parents, too, about this whole thing. I had a community member say how he had eaten fennel au gratin one day, and I was like, wow, it's really working. They're really taking these recipes home and making them for their kids, too, so that was great. This is all, wrong way, I think? Yeah. This is all, of course, about the whole obesity issue, and you've probably all heard this data, but probably good to run through it a little bit. This is Winnebago County. We're at 67%. Those are the adult numbers, and our children, about 33% of our children, which is kind of a common statistic nationwide. And so we're looking at 1 and 3. Unfortunately, by the year 2018, when our healthcare costs are going to double roughly from 2009, about one in 2, or 50% of our kids will be either overweight or obese. So we've got some issues with all of that stuff. Unfortunately, there's a new norm out there. Children, that's a common look in our schools. Children being a little bit overweight. We see 5 to 8-year-olds with risk factors for heart disease. That's high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, diabetes. I have a number of diabetic children in the district that I make special menus for. So, and that number seems to be growing, and those are the kids I know about. And then there's a whole group of kids I'm sure that I don't know about because they don't know those things either. So our population, 50% is what we're looking for there. And I think this next thing is interesting. 70% of our health is determined by our lifestyle. So with that in mind, we have to take a serious look at all of this stuff. Our children are just bombarded with messages about unhealthy foods. They are inundated with highly processed, commercially processed foods that are high in sodium, high in sugar, have very, very unhealthy fats. I think most of you know that that food is convenient often. You can find that just around the corner, and it is cheap. Unfortunately, it's very cheap, and it ends up on the family dinner table quite often. Not a good place for that food to be. Now, I can put fruits and vegetables in front of them, which we have done and are doing, but unless I have some of these other programs, simply me in the lunch program just setting it in front of them and saying, here, eat this, it's not going to work. I need programs like the Fun Food of the Month and some of our other programs that we're working on to actually get it from point A to point B, meaning from the plate into the mouth, into the stomach so that they get it. So we're actually working on a couple more programs with Rethink. One is I actually want to start with, where is it? The school gardens. We will have, from the spring to the fall, we're going to have 3 school gardens in the district. And we're working with Growing Oshkosh that are helping us build these and put them together. These are like outdoor nutrition labs. So they will be able to actually plant the seeds, and they will be able to do some watering and some weeding and everything that it takes to make a garden and actually produce vegetables and fruits. And at the end of that, they will be, of course, able to eat these things. And there's a lot of research to support the fact that when children can actually be part of that process, they will actually eat it better. So that smell thing doesn't look so good right now, but that is coming. That's Emily Cook, and then we got one at Webster Stanley, and we have North High working on this too. So that's seen down in that's not us, but it will be in the future, so we're really looking forward to having all that happen. And then back it up here. The other thing that we're working on is the whole farm to school thing. So that just takes the school garden thing one step farther and puts it on a large level. Our plan is really that we can connect with some local growers to provide enough produce that we can serve in the Oshkosh School District. Because when I need things like green beans, I need 400 pounds ready to go. And that's a big process. But our idea would be really that we can make it more of an institutional practice so that if we can get it in Oshkosh, that means they can get it in Menasha, they can get it in Neenah, they can get it in Amro, and they can get it in Winneconne. And all of us pulling off the same vegetables is probably a pretty good thing to have happen. So clearly we need more attention for nutrition-related issues in the district. We have to provide some knowledge that these are good things for kids to eat. Families have to have access to them, and then children need to be able to make good choices, but I think adults do too. That's always helpful. So your support of these programs will actually help us continue on our path to giving the youth in our communities a chance at longer and healthier lives. So thank you.